But if you were to envision a hero class that's not yet been developed, what does that look like? Welcome back to another episode of Coffee with Kupo with your host Sergeant Filthy McNasty.
And Kupo.
We're back yet again. Today we're talking about classes, hero classes specifically. And let's start with your favorite class, Kupo. I think I know what it is, but I want to know if I'm right. Your favorite class and why? Give it to me, Kupo.
Well, I'm pretty sure you do know what it is, as I've said it tons of time already, and it's probably one of the largest advanced job populations I have in my current wallet right now. I love our holy knights, the paladins. I've always been like a big paladin fan in MMOs. I just like the lore behind the paladin. I just like how they're like holy warriors of good and venture, holy lights, holy powers. They're not quite your warriors out there where they're just magicless, but they're also not defenseless. They're not the strongest, but they're just somebody that you always just want to have around in your party because they're just so valorous. You know, you got such a great lore behind the paladin, and it's just something that I personally enjoy thoroughly.
And I know I know there's a bunch of classes you could have chosen from, and that's your favorite. Give me a close second. You know, what's your second favorite hero class?
I'm gonna go with the summoner. Just because the fact that like there's just so much potential when it comes to like a summoner. It's like, what can they actually do? Are they gonna be just making like little wind elements, or are they gonna actually be summoning like beasts or something like that? How magical are they? What type of lore and origin can you get out of a summoner? Are they summoning from another realm? Are they just whipping out a Pokeball and suddenly something pops out of it? I mean, I'm actually very curious to see how the whole summoner concept is going to basically go when it comes to DFK. One of my personal favorite summoners of all time is from the Final Fantasy IV, aka Final Fantasy II if you're from the States, with Radia, which is a little green girl that started up in the Village of Mist, and she ended up becoming one of your main characters that lasted throughout pretty much the entire game. Ever since then, I've always had like something like in my heart when it came to like summoners and stuff like that. So it doesn't have to be necessarily a Final Fantasy, but in general, the whole concept of actually having like a beast by your side that's usually magical, different from like a beast master or an animal tamer, is just pretty like rewarding to me to know how they can actually bond with these like magical creatures and grow with them.
If I had to choose my favorite hero or hero class, I feel like it's a cop out. I've always liked the concept of a ranger in D&D. And you don't have a ranger type hero per se
You
in
got
the
your
game,
archers that are close. I
but
mean,
you've got your archers that are close.
I feel like if we were going to include a ranger, you got that. That's like the missing link. You got the archer and you got the spell bow. I feel like the ranger would be somewhere in the middle to like mush that all together into like one bow and arrow type of like missing link type of concept there.
And I love the idea of an archer for sure. I was one of our one of the most recent episodes we had. I believe it was Umfreak who mentioned it. He mentioned the concept of being able to craft different arrows, and the idea of crafting different arrows. It just it made the idea of an archer just even more exciting to me. It makes perfect sense. I hope the team sort of is planning that down the line. I can't imagine them not planning that out. Um, but it's super cool. It's a versatile sort of hero class when it comes to being able to craft things in my head. Um, so archer for sure. I think a close second would be oh boy, I really
Picking your
like.
brain here.
Yeah, I like Dark Knights based on looks, and Dragoons based on looks. But geez, if I can't, I'm gonna have to go wizard. It's just the idea of a wizard. It's so classic in to the RPG world. How can you not have how can you not like wizards? They're so awesome. And again, if you're thinking, being able to craft maybe different tomes, different spells, it just wizards become you can take wizards in a variety of different directions.
Oh, absolutely.
I just so and I know they're your basic classes, but sometimes hey, basic's exciting too.
Right? I mean, I could easily just said the Dread Knight, the Dread Knight, the Dread Knight, but no, I wasn't
Yeah.
like that. It's like there's more than just achieving those Dread Knights. You got your other classes that you got to work with also. And give a little love to the little bottom feeders and stuff. It's not always about having like your top game heroes as being like the number ones. I mean, you probably got that one special one maybe you want to have, but it might not be your absolute like favorite hero. So I understand that.
Hey, and this may be a hot take, but my thought is, because they are your basic heroes, and potentially conceivably down the road you will have more basic heroes and you will advance elite, transcendent, etc.,
Agreed.
etc. You want to make these basic heroes as versatile and different, and you just want to spice them up a bit, and maybe more than your other heroes, not for anything other than you just want to make them different enough, right? My
Absolutely.
take, if you don't like it, let me know, but let me know in the comments. But that's my take. And now that we're talking heroes, Kupo, I can't help but wonder, these new hero classes. We're waiting up on a full tree, essentially, really top to bottom, with there being something above a dread knight at some point. But if you were to envision a hero class that's not yet been developed, what does that look like? And maybe that sort of expands the concept into having to think about what this new realm looks like. But for you, I mean, what are you thinking about? What's that new hero class look for you, Kupo?
Yeah, so I mean, you've already kind of dropped an idea of bringing up the Ranger, which is actually a pretty cool concept. You got to think if by the time they bring out another chain, you're probably going to have 4 potential new hero type of classes coming out, which basically is the 2 of the tier 1s. And then you're going to have yourself the next tier up, your elite. And of course, that means you're going to get your exalted. And honestly, that could even bring up like the 5th tier. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, advanced. Got common, advanced, elites, exalted, and then then it would be like whatever the 5th tier would be, like God, like transcendent.
God tier.
I'm gonna say transcendent. That seems like it's like something that'd be pretty cool to be.
It fits. Yeah. So I mean, what are you thinking as far as a class? You said Ranger.
Well, you said Ranger. Actually, I was just kind of banking on that.
Okay.
Yeah, I did, didn't I?
You know what? Something that would actually go pretty good with a Ranger. What about a Druid? You got yourself your nature mages. We got ourselves our scholars. We got our blind seers. We got our wizards. We even got ourselves our summoners out there. But what about a little bit more of the nature-based mages? We can get ourselves out there. And who knows? Maybe the advanced class could be what people have been asking for. That necromancer, get yourself a little dark magic going on there also. Ooh.
that would be fun to see. I'm gonna throw you a curveball here, maybe not too far fetched. I know it's conversations we've had on the back end with Zealous. He's been, we go back and forth on some chats. And he's been high on the Argentinian community. I love the idea of being able to cater to Latin America. I know we're sort of digging deep in with the Asian market for good reason. Part of what brought us to Clayton in the first place. If you've not seen Avalanche Summit, this year is moving from Barcelona to Argentina. I'm thinking, something with a Latin American flair And my go-to sort of like this Aztec warrior, or some sort of like warrior type Mayan, Incan,
Okay, I can see
some
that.
fusion of a sort of Latin American
Like a temple guard or something like that.
yes, serpent snake. I can't think of the name. Quetzalado, I think. I don't know.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Quaxolotl.
yeah. So I mean, it just there's so many sort of opportunities there that we've not tapped into. Sort of brings up the
Absolutely.
concept of a whole new realm in a whole new world, right? Trying to be different. What are you thinking there, Kupo? Does that fit
No,
into
that definitely
DFK
does
as a
fit
whole?
in. Absolutely. I mean, that's how we kind of got our last generation of our classes out there, which was also pretty nice. But at the same time, I'm also trying to think of things that would be like opposite based and stuff like that. So like, I don't know, maybe for like the elite tier, how we got ourselves a spell bow. Why not have a warrior mage? Get yourself a little bit of a like sort of like a red mage type concept from a Final Fantasy type perspective, but maybe not as pathetic.
You mentioned necromancer.
Mhm.
I've got to imagine that's your top tier.
Uh, no, I would probably say that's more like on an advanced class, kind of like to balance out like the summoner.
Okay.
So like within that type of realm, like I think people would like to actually have like the necromancer to be on par, like the dark version of like a summoner. You got your summoner, which are producing your magical beast, and then you got your necromancer, which are summoning your undead and dark beast. So there's your opposite, and that's where the whole like mesh goes together. Yin and yang type of concept.
And maybe it was well thought out, but poorly executed. I was being cute with it, and I said necromancer being your top tier because I imagine most top tier, above dread knights are gonna be dark summoned heroes, and
Yeah, more than
then
likely.
necromancer is not the he is the the dark summoner, I suppose. He is not the one that gets dark summoned, but something along those lines would be interesting. I'm intrigued to know what you, the viewer, is thinking. What are you imagining? Are we spot on? Are we off? What do you want to see? The devs are watching. Pitch them a recommendation. What do you want to see as a new class? What's your favorite class? Let us know in the comments section below.
And
As
if you
always, yep.
Yep. And if you guys bring up enough comments and enough suggestions, we might get ourselves a retake on this particular segment and bring up a following number 2. So
Yes.
drop us what your ideas are. We'll take some takes on that. And if you guys got some good ideas going on, we'll talk about them.
Absolutely, yes. As always, hit the like, subscribe, comment as mentioned. Until next time, Sarge out.